Oh, and welcome back to the Morehouse College Reunion Class Training Series. Our theme is Protect Our House, Invest in Our Future every year. This brief training is a part of our strategy series with a focus on reports. One thing that we believe wholeheartedly is that you can't improve what you can't measure. As members of the reunion committee, we wanted to make sure that you were armed with information. So I wanted to take a few minutes to discuss the various reports that we have available to support your fundraising efforts. As I mentioned, there are a variety of different reports. Some of them are self-explanatory, others need a little bit of help understanding. But once you get it, I think it'll make sense and you'll see how it can be beneficial. The reports are going to be updated regularly to ensure that they reflect the most accurate information that we have available. Now keep in mind, these reports contain your class members' personal information and should not be shared with anyone who is not on your committee and has not signed our confidentiality agreement. So with that said, let's get started. The first report is our master roster. And just like it sounds, in addition to providing a full list of everyone's member, in addition to providing a full list of every member of your reunion class, the master roster also includes their personal information, contact numbers, and a detailed list of their giving history. Now, this report can be used by the committee chair and the strategy agent to identify the top donors and assign members to the local agents on your committee. It's a great tool for that. Now, also, the next report we have we call it LYBNT, L-Y-B-N-T. Now, that stands for last year, but not this year. Last year, but not this year. That means this is a list, a detailed list of all of the members of your class who've given in the last year, but not in the current fiscal year. And keep in mind, the fiscal year starts in July and runs to June. Okay. Next is SYBNT, S-Y-B-N-T. That's some years, but not this year. So similar to LYBNT, these are the members who have given some years in the past, but not again in the last fiscal year, not the current fiscal year. Again, this is good information, and we're going to tie it all together a little bit at the end to give you a better sense of how all these pieces come together. The next report is pretty much exactly like it sounds, never donors. These are your people that for whatever reason, they've never stepped up to the challenge. They've never answered the call, and they never donated to the college. So there's usually a reason behind that, and there's a strategy for how we approach them. Again, we're going to go a little bit more in depth a little later, but again, it's important to be able to identify and know the category of donors that you have. Next up, current donors are class members who have given during the current fiscal year. These are the ones we love. Hopefully, all of our committee members are leading by example, and they also are members of this roster, current donors. Now, so it's important to know who those are. And moving down, this is your master roster, your class. This is not your master roster. I'm sorry. This is just your class roster. This is a roster of everyone who's registered as a part of your class. And this kind of gives you an idea of who you should target, who's on your playlist, so to speak, to work with. But it also has filtered out people who have either been deceased or people who, for whatever reason, not only have they fell off, but we don't have any contact information. So this represents at least an active list that you can work from. And then finally, amongst our list of reports is our Giving Society. The Giving Society report provides additional information about your class members' giving history. This report will identify the members who are associated with particular giving societies. And this is also very important because it lets you know who's made different levels of commitment. So what I want to do is pause for a second right now to explain how to leverage some of this information. Now, as we begin to take a more strategic look at the data, it becomes more obvious that we should approach each category of donors differently. Not everybody's the same. For example, one of the first things that a class chair and a strategy agent should do is review the various reports to determine who their top givers are. Now, we're all familiar with Pareto's 80-20 rule. That simply states that 80% of your revenue, 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your efforts. Now, that's an important rule for strategy because by reviewing the different reports, it'll help you determine which 20% of your class members you can expect to get 80% of your class goals. So again, as you start to look at your total goal and you start to figure out where you should focus a lot of your energy at or expectations at, knowing which 20% is critical, and those reports are going to help you do that. Now, additionally, your reports like your SYBNTs, your LYBNTs, and so on can help you determine which engagement strategy is going to be most helpful. For example, some class members, because they've disconnected or haven't given in a while, the focus might be initially just to reconnect and re-engage. Sometimes finding out, is there a reason why they disconnected and fell off over the years, or maybe there's a way that you can get them re-engaged, and that's a part of that strategy. Now others, current givers and things like that, they might be ready for a different challenge. The approach could be to help them just to stretch, to give a little bit more than they have in the past. Again, as leaders of your committee, you should use these reports to support your strategy as well as your local agents as they engage your fellow class members. However, we're going to go more in depth with this concept in another training, but I thought it was important to make sure that you have a general understanding of the different reports available and how to use them. Well, that concludes this training video. Again, I want to thank you for watching. For more information, please contact your reunion committee chair or email your team for assistance at alumni@morehouse.edu. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.